Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be checking out the 6th studio album by the band Ghost called Skeletá. Now this was released on Friday, but there was a lot of things going on last week and I just did not have the time to get around to it. And also, I'm very intrigued to check this one out because it's not often I check out an album by a band of this stature that I've heard next to none of their music. I've heard maybe, I want to say 3 songs from the band Ghost. So I'm pretty much going in here completely blind. So just to give a little bit of context as to where we are at in terms of what we've actually heard from Ghost. I'm in a bit of a tricky situation. I'm a little bit unsure of what's actually going on because I would have put my life savings on the fact that I have heard Ghost's track, which is one of their most popular songs, I believe, which is pronounced, I want to say Cirice, C-I-R-I-C-E. I believe that's how you say it. Cirice, I don't know. That song, you know what I'm talking about. I would have put my life savings on that being on my YouTube channel somewhere. Now, I've done some digging this morning and it just does not exist. So if anyone's been following my channel for a couple of years, can you please let me know? Like, I remember hearing about Ghost years and years and years ago when I first started doing like metal, rock adjacent albums and songs across my channel. And I just can't find it. It's not in my analytics. It's not on my actual YouTube channel when you type in my name. It's nowhere. So either I deleted it by accident. I don't see any reason as to why I would have deleted it in the past. Or I just never did it. I have no idea. But that's kind of where we stood prior to this moment. That was the one song I believe I've heard. Again, I have no proof of me actually checking it out. But if someone remembers me checking it out, I remember the thumbnail and I remember the actual like artwork. But I just don't have the video. So if anyone knows where that's gone, please let me know. And as for this album, I have heard one song off of it, which was the first single, which was called Satanized. Now, I checked that out on my live stream on Twitch, obviously when the song dropped and it was out of context of the full album. I wasn't massively into it, not the biggest fan in the world. However, I do think I mentioned at the time that maybe I just need to check out the album. And as a caveat to that, Steve OG and Metal Burb have been very high on this band with their new stuff. I think maybe because we're all so deeply involved in the modern metal space, they've been kind of saying that they weren't expecting to enjoy the Ghost stuff as much as they do because it's kind of like different to the stuff that we listen to on a regular basis. And I think honestly, I'm in a good position to be listening to this album because I feel like I'm a little bit jaded and fatigued by just straight up core music at the moment. Don't get me wrong, there's so much core music that I'm enjoying, but for the most part, I'm just kind of sick of the same sounds and the same tones. So Ghost, hopefully, will be able to offer something that I'm a little bit more interested in. Okay, so we're going to start. The first song on the album is called Peacefield. The second song is a single that has a video, so we're going to check out the video. We're also going to check out the Satanized video as well. Now, interestingly, Peacefield is also a single, which there is a music video for dropping today at 2 p.m, which I'm not going to be checking out because obviously it doesn't exist yet. But we're going to go back and do the other 2 videos. So again, Satanized I've already heard. Lachryma is, I believe, how you say that. Could be butchering that. Apologies if I am. Is a single that I haven't heard. And we're going to check out the video for that as well. But otherwise, let's get into it. I have a to-do list, or 3 to-do lists. But I am actually using these to just take notes on the back of them. Okay, so if you see me writing down anything at any points, it's because I'm taking notes. So just don't think I'm being distracted. I'm just writing stuff to talk about at a later point in the video. So let's go. Peacefield. Oh, wow. This has like Christmas Eve vibes. This is nice. Is an organ coming in? Okay, that old school tone is, I think, quite refreshing for me at the moment. Like I said, wait,
a slaughtered czar. We all need something to believe in until it's over. Anything, anyone, anytime, but it's not over yet. This is what dreams are made of. This is what they're afraid of. A life with no reason. When they finally reach you, you will have seen through the darkest the season. Your love bright as the starlight. Oh child, still we can see a black moon over the Peacefield. Oh child, stay close to me. The end of a monarchy, a state machine, unable to foresee the widow queen. We all need something to believe in until it's over. Anything, anyone, anytime, but it's not over yet. Every new generation feels a grand usurpation, devoid of treason. For a man in a mirror, it's all getting clearer. The dark is the season. Your love bright as the starlight. Oh child, still we can see a black moon over the Peacefield. Oh child, stay close to me. We are Legion, join us one day. Big, we'll find a way through the marshes of death and right back to the bearer of life.
That vocal run, I feel like that's a catchy one. Complete tone shift. Oh wow. Kind of Rammstein vibes here. Not anymore.
As the starlight, oh child, still we can see a black moon over the Peacefield. Oh child, stay close to me. Your love bright as the starlight. Oh child, still we can see a black moon over the Peacefield. Oh child, stay close to me.
It's got a lot of character, for sure. Mix is really solid. Let me hear the transition. Let's see how it flows. I mean, it's a full fade out. Well, not a fade out, but it's a full stop. But okay, right. So I have my to-do list here, and I'll just go through some of the things I'm talking about. So obviously, I mentioned in the intro that I've just been kind of absorbed. It's funny. It's actually so funny because this whole channel was kind of built on more, I guess, legacy bands and old school bands that maybe came out like years ago. I don't know if Ghost is considered a legacy band at this point, but I know they're maybe an older generation band compared to some of the stuff that I'm listening to anyway. These guys have been around for years. That's just an objective fact. But anytime I go back to something like this or like this style, I say back to this, it came out on Friday, but you know what I mean? It's weirdly like this nostalgic trip to me, because it's also like something that's also so fresh, if that makes sense. Like, it's so fresh to me, as in, I listen to so much modern metal at the moment, like really like silly low tuned guitars, 7-string guitars, like bass boosted drops, just so much chaos, like double kicks all the time, like real fucking ridiculously extreme metal with like crazy vocals that you can't even really like even process or hear when you listen to it on the first listen without having lyrics. This is all very legible, or not legible, it's very audible. From a vocal standpoint, the guitar tone has its own like frequency level that just like rides along all of the other instruments, whereas again, like I mentioned with modern metal, like a lot of deathcore and metalcore, a lot of the like lower frequencies just get like jumbled up, like the double kicks and the maybe like tremolo picking or whatever it might be in the guitar department. Just a lot of the frequencies just get mashed together, and then you have like low scream vocals on top of that as well. It just gets a bit chaotic. So it's really, really refreshing and like so much easier to listen to casually when you don't really know much about the band, when there's not all of that going on, because it kind of gives you a moment to settle into it, as opposed to the song starting off with like blast beats, screams, chaotic. I don't know if this band does screams. They don't really strike me as the type of band that will scream, but I guess that's something we're gonna have to figure out as we go. Really like the intro to this song. I am a big guy with albums. I love listening to albums throughout, because I think it just gives, especially like when I'm not really too familiar with the band, it gives me a bit of a taste, as opposed to like taking a single out of the middle of their discography, for example. And like I did with Satanized, where it just didn't really click with me too much when I first listened to it, but I feel like this will give it a lot more context, especially with a lot of the lore, which I'm completely not aware of. So I guess I'm going to be missing a lot of that. And obviously Sleep Token are on their like release cycle at the moment as well. So I understand how important lore can be, because there might be some callbacks in this album to like previous albums. They have, I think, 5 other albums apart from this one. And I'm well aware of how important that is. And obviously Ghost, there probably is a lot of similarities that you can put between Sleep Token. Musically, not really, but I guess the whole lore, I don't know. I know the members, they're not like, their identities aren't hidden, but I think they've done a pretty good job at like just keeping themselves as Ghost the band, where they don't have like actual stage, well, they have stage names, but it's like not their actual name. It's like something one. It's kind of like the way Sleep Token do it, like Vessel 1, 2, 3, and 4. But so that's really interesting. So I'm obviously in that kind of mindset at the moment, because I'm deeply involved in the Sleep Token world. So this makes sense to me. I'm not like coming this from an angle like, well, why are they like completely anonymous, and why do they not go by like their own names? I completely get that. I'm coming from that world. On the aesthetic and all that, the vocals, from what I've heard so far, are so when you look at Ghost, from what I've seen from them, like all of their artwork and their imagery that you look up online, it's very dark and like ominous and scary. Like, it just is. But like the vocal tone and his cadence is so bright and like almost comforting and warm and nostalgic. So it's like this complete juxtaposition, or this complete contrast. I think juxtaposition works there. It's a fucking great word if it does. But it's this contrast between the two where I'm like a little bit confused, because they've got like such dark, even their artwork is so like dark and mysterious and kind of creepy. Looks like something maybe from like a black metal band. But obviously that's not the case with a lot of the overall sonic appeal to this album, or I guess this song so far, and what I've heard from them, like with Satanized as well. There's like that vocal cadence is very prominent in that as well. Again, the lore I touched on, I don't really know much about it, so maybe people can fill me in. There's a lot of character to this as well, and that's one thing that I think is missing from a lot of the modern metalcore and like a lot of the modern deathcore stuff that I listened to recently, is that it just feels like it's void of a lot of character. It feels like a lot of bands are just doing things that have been popular in the past via like Lorna Shore and stuff, and it just doesn't really feel like it's trying to be its own thing and like it have its own identity, whereas this feels so full of character, so full of its own identity. I think a lot is to do with the vocal delivery of the lead vocalist. I don't know his name, but he's got a lot of character to him and a very recognizable voice. And obviously it's just not like the heaviest thing in the world, which is kind of just refreshing for me as well. Yeah, like I said, it's very endearing. There's a lot of endearing qualities to it, just because it's not so like overbearing into the production department and all of that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap over to the music video. Now, I usually prefer to just listen to albums with the lyrics on screen, because it can kind of take away from it sometimes. But because this band is a big band, I'm going to do them the justice of checking out the video, because I'm sure there's been a lot of work put into it. And I think the Satanized video is pretty cool as well. Even though I didn't love the song, but I'll check out both videos again and listen to it and just see. Actually, you know what? For the Satanized video, maybe I won't check out the video again, because I'd already seen the video and I didn't love the song. So let me check out the Lachryma video. Again, apologies if I'm butchering that. And then we'll do the Satanized lyrics on Spotify. Lachryma. It has like a synthwave vibe. That's what it is. It's like, is it like an 80s synthwave vibe or something? That's kind of the vibe I was thinking of. It's that nostalgic feel to it, but it's in a completely different format, which is so cool. Okay, this has a bit of a gnarlier tone to it. Okay. This kind of feels like something a little bit more in that Metallica range that I've heard in the past. Interesting to lose focus on the main shot in the video. Falsetto, nice. Okay. That's a sick riff. Oh, that's sick. I'm a riff guy at heart. It's got a great fucking voice. It's kind of unassuming. It's like uplifting and hopeful, but the visuals are so dark and weird. That main riff is so sexy. The harmonized guitars. Sweet. That sounds great. This mix is fantastic. I've got this into my head, man. Crying. I don't know the lyrics. Okay. This is very Metallica. I know these are kind of like same era, roughly, bands. Maybe Ghost came out a little bit after Metallica, so I don't know if they've got that influence in them. I'm not really sure. It has, you know what? Wow. That's definitely my favorite over the of the two or the three we've heard so far. Again, we're going to go back to Satanized maybe, and again, this might be the case because I did kind of allude to this when I did hear Satanized, is that maybe I just need to like settle into the sound a little bit, because I did hear Satanized in the middle of listening to a lot of core music. So it's obviously very, very different sonically. So maybe it's just a case of like settling into albums a little bit more and like really letting that sound sink in, because this, maybe it's just the actual song itself suited my tastes a lot more. It had like I'm useless when it comes to like defining different eras, but it has like a synthwave vibe, and I think it's an 80s synthwave vibe. Am I correct in saying that? There's like something, it's definitely a synthy vibe. There's a synthwave vibe to it, but I don't know which era it's from. So correct me if I'm wrong. It could be like a maybe early 90s, late 80s kind of thing. Maybe even 70s. I don't know. I think it's an 80s thing though. Again, I'm 28, so I'm a late 90s baby. So not really my wheelhouse. I'm sure if anyone who's been born in the 80s would ever be able to tell me very quickly. But the lyrics into it, I can't help but kind of laugh at the like romanticized lyrics with a band that's as like creepy looking as Ghost. Like the visuals are very like, we're in a fucking, I think they were in like a cemetery or something like that. I don't know exactly. Yeah, it's like they're like outside the gates of a cemetery or something with all the smoke in the ground. And then the lyrics are, I'm done crying, now that sweet's gone sour. What does he say? I'm done crying over someone like you. I'm done crying. I hope you're feeling it too. Like it's very like now there might be some metaphorical writing in there that I'm not picking up on, or some lore tied into this, but like from the outside looking in, very surface level looking at the lyrics, it just sounds like a love song, which is hilarious just looking at the visuals. The main riff, again, me and my eras, not very good. I don't know who came out first. I believe Metallica were probably around first because I know they inspired so many bands. That main riff, very Metallica in parts. Again, I'm not like massively versed in the Metallica discography either, but I'm a lot more versed in the Metallica discography than I am Ghost. And that main riff, very Metallica. Great groove to it. I'm like a fan of Metallica's riffs in certain segments, but like their overall appeal, I'm not really the biggest fan of Metallica in general. But that main riff, and the one thing that Metallica don't really do from what I've heard, is those like kind of falsetto vocals and clean vocals that have a lot of melody. That's a grower. That is a big grower for sure. I've liked that. Added it to my playlist. Do I have anything else? The falsetto, the synthwave 80s vibe, the main riff, the lyrics being romantic with these kind of masses, hilarious. Yeah, pretty much touched on everything there. And now I'm actually more intrigued. Do I check out the video for Satanized? I mean, it's right here. I kind of want to check. Their videos are fun. Do you know what? I'm going to listen to it again. My brain is cued into the sonic aspects of this band now, so maybe I'll enjoy this song a little bit more. We'll see. Okay, so this is second listen of Satanized, not a first listen. I'm gonna need more to-do lists. Strong bass tone. Down. It's very memorable. As soon as I'm hearing it again, I'm like, oh yeah. It could be one of those that grows on me. Satanized. Could be. Through a life of devotion, these lyrics are relevant, I guess, to the visuals as well. It looks like a priest or some shit, or a monk. Satanized. Fuck.
I'm Satanized.
Did he give him the fucking... Did he give him one of those? Is that what they're alluding to here? Did he have a Tom Hank?
That is twisting and bending my core. I have begged God for the remedy, but I'm no longer sure.
Is that what this is about?
I should have known not to give in. I should have known.
I think I'm clocking the concept here. They were testing him. I get it now. No way. That was a cool visual. That is a sick visual. The colors come in. Wow. That outfit is 10 out of 10. Okay, let me go back to this because that's a very relevant point. I know the lyrics are pretty clear as day. There's nothing really like hidden away from it. Like it's literally just saying he's Satanized. But is it because like it's a monk setting, right? He's obviously going into a confession box. He's confessing to whatever it is. I'm not paying too much attention to the visuals. I don't normally, but obviously this is a second watch and I didn't cop this at the time. But it's when he lies down, when they all pin him down, does he give him a little one of these? Is that what they're saying? And then they're kind of like testing his willpower again by having the woman there. It does give him a little... Okay, he's this, and then he's like this. Okay, so he's like, what are you thinking? And then they bring in this... Yes, it's like very almost seductive leaning, and he's just showing his true colors. He's not a monk, you know. He's Satanized, blasphemy, heresy. I get it. It makes sense. That's a very funny topic to be covering. Okay, with the topic in mind, these guys are a bit of they're kind of meme lords, aren't they? They seem to... Am I getting that right? I may be completely butchering this, but my idea of this is that this... Well, I guess the actual music video is like, you know, there are monks and he's obviously confessed to his... Just scrubbing through the video here. He's confessed to his sins and then this fella's ratted him out, essentially, but it looks and thinks, oh no, do you know what? She's been listening. Is that it? Yes. Okay, she's overheard what's gone on. And he's probably said something along the lines of, I've had a bit of a Tom Hank. And he's a monk. He's not supposed to be. He's not supposed to be, you know, pulling the plum off himself. But he has, unfortunately. She's hearing it. And she's probably ratted him out. We have a rat. We have a mole in the camp. And, you know... Wait, hold on. There's actually literally things on screen here. Okay, so is he repenting him for his sins? He basically gets found out for having a little pull of his Mickey, is what it looks like. And... yeah, do you know what? The song makes more sense now. And maybe that's going to be more of a reason for that to get stuck in my head. I'm Satanized. And again, like I said, when I first heard that song, it was in the context of a live stream where I basically run a live stream every Sunday on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Drew421, shameless plug. And I take loads of different requests. Any music that people want me to check out, I'll listen to. And it's usually like really, really modern metal, like hyper modern metal, whether it be like, you know, kind of pop leaning, metalcore, deathcore, yada, yada, yada. We have prog music in there as well. We have some other school stuff, but for the most part, a lot of my audience would be, I guess, leaning more towards the modern metalcore, modern deathcore. So different wheelhouse sonically completely to anything like this. So having this like pinned in the middle of all of that is a bit of a mindfuck. It's a little bit... It's hard to kind of like adjust to this sound because it's so different. Like the soundscapes are just vastly different. A lot of the frequencies are a lot like in the upper echelon as opposed to like really like heavy on the lower side. So having listened to this again, although I still prefer Lachryma, I think this one has the potential to grow on me again. Satanized, that is. But we are going to go on to Guiding Lights. And I think we should have the lyrics for all of them at this point, which is good. Oh, we don't. So we don't have lyrics here. See, now I kind of want to keep up with the concepts, the lyrical concepts, because that one was quite funny. But I don't want to distract myself from the music. If I can pause right here.
Open my heart and tell you with no fear that the path we have walked led us into the dark. There stood my God before me. Do you know what they said? That the road that leads to nowhere is long, and that those who seek to go there are lost. The guiding lights, they lead you on.
It has such a nostalgic feel throughout the album. It feels like it could be at the end of a movie or something.
I could turn around, I would have told you that
Oh, the little shift.
it could have found its way through the powers that be. I just want you to see there stands our God before us. Can't you hear them saying that the road that leads to nowhere is long, and that those who seek to go there are lost? The guiding lights, they lead you on, and the road that leads to nowhere is long.
The road that leads to nowhere is long. I know there's obviously a lot of religious symbolism, but I didn't realize the lyricism was kind of that way leaning as well. Some nice tasteful guitar solos as well.
That the road that leads to nowhere is long. That the road that leads to nowhere is long. That the road that leads to nowhere.
That's actually a quite nice song. I'm going to add it for the playlists. I'm going to add it in. And the road that leads to nowhere is lost. Some of the vocal runs are beautiful as well. I like that song. Not going to dwell on that for too long. Let's just keep moving. Simple song, 3.5 minutes. Oh, goodness me. Oh, we got lyrics. That whispering again. I think we had that in the first song at the start. Something similar anyway. So fucking unique. Palace Build of Frozen Tears. Lachryma is related to tears as well, so that could be somewhat tied in. Interesting song name as well. I think that's lead guitar in the back. It almost kind of sounds synthesized at the same time. I'm guessing it probably is lead guitar. But just a very faint layer of it. Okay. That one didn't have as many standout moments in it as some of the other tracks, especially in the let me hear this transition. In the melody departments. But not a bad song nonetheless. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be like much like phasing between the two songs. It seems to be just like each song can kind of be dissected as its own single, which is kind of interesting as well, which I kind of like. Because sometimes although an album can be really, like this album sounds like it can work as a standalone piece of work, but sometimes with albums, which I really prefer to be honest, or I've tend to enjoy in the past, is it concept-based albums that kind of like really flow together, so the whole thing kind of feels like one big song. But also, there's a lot of merit and a lot of I've got a lot of time for albums that also have that kind of like, I guess, feel of being very cohesive and all feeling the same, of this like a part of the same theme, but also having the ability to kind of just stick one on in its own like time and place and just listen to that without feeling like you're missing the next part. You know what I mean? All these songs, from what I've heard so far, kind of have added like a, you know, literally a beginning, middle, and end. It doesn't feel like one song needs to be connected to the other to kind of enjoy the full piece. It feels like a lot of singles that are all interwoven into the same concept. Now, it's obviously very like, it seems based in religion and like beliefs and this kind of spirituality. Like, I mean, this song in particular, the one we just heard, was called De Profundis Borealis. Now, just while I was listening to the song, the first part of that, I'm probably butchering that, the Profundis. That sounds like I'm trying to do that in like a Brazilian accent, but basically, from what I can see here, I think this is all like Latin. It's a heartfelt cry of appeal expressing deep feelings of sorrow or anguish. So obviously this all feels like it's tied into each other, because Satanized is obviously the moment where maybe the protagonist across this album's theme is like, I guess, almost being punished for just being like human, I guess. I know he's a monk and it's a different time or whatever that they're referring to, but, you know, he has human urges, you know, obviously in the monk's case, seemingly sexually with the gesture from the head monk or whatever you want to call him. And he's being punished for it, you know, and he's being like ostracized from his community. I think that's the right word. I'm on fire with some of my words today. I think Ghost's use of the English language are just really bringing it out of me. But the Borealis, I think, is like an aurora. I am on a big word streak today. But it's basically like an aurora, or I guess this kind of like mystical feeling of like a heartfelt cry or appeal of expression. So it's almost like a vision. It's almost like, because a de profundis is a heartfelt cry of appeal expressing drop. So that's not something you can visually see. However, an aurora is something that's a little bit more visual. So it's almost as if they're putting those two words together to kind of like make it a visual thing, which is really cool. It's very like spiritual and ghosty, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's very like ghosty and spiritual, you know what I mean? So I guess that ties into the whole thing that the band's doing. But it's interesting. Obviously there is some kind of a theme running. Now it's like the anguish felt, I'm guessing, after what happened in Satanized. And it does all seem like it's tied in. Maybe, you know, having listened to this, I'll listen to this. I know I'm doing a bit of a deep dive on the lyrics here, but I shouldn't really be because I'm supposed to be paying attention to the music. But I can't help it. It's kind of fun as well. I like the different themes. This is why I love albums. This is why I love doing full albums. And again, why I always say, like when I heard Satanized by itself, I was a little bit like, maybe give me the album, make more sense. And clearly it has already. So that's pretty much it. Did I say anything about that? No, I didn't. But let's go. Cenotaph. Okay, another word I'm going to have to Google. Let's keep going. Yeah, so far we got Lachryma and Guiding Lights as playlisted tracks, which I'm honestly quite surprised about, to be honest. I didn't really know if I'd come out with this album with any playlisted tracks, so...
At the top of the mountain, right there where it tips and connects with the night sky. Reach it with me. In the grave of the ocean, right there where it dips and connects with the fire. Burning with me, the ashes of memories buried are glowing, blowing in the wind. Through the sensations, all through the storms, like you used to be. Wherever I go, you're always there, right next to me.
I don't know what to make of this band.
At the heart of the city, right there where it glows and explodes into color.
They're very proggy as well. What is the description of this band's genre? Like progressive rock? I don't know. Ghost band genre. Progressive rock is my guess. Hard rock, heavy metal, arena rock, pop rock, doom metal, progressive rock, psychedelic rock, occult rock, shock rock, symphonic metal, and gothic rock. I mean, Jesus. Why not just say every genre? What are those chords I'm on? This is a nostalgia rush, man. Fuck me. Very easy listening. Oh, that's a tasty solo. I'm not usually the biggest solo fan, but that works so well. Is that a tapping riff I hear? Not something I would have anticipated from a Ghost album.
Wherever I go, you're always there, riding next to
Oh. So much character. What is that reminding me of? Down and up, down and down and up. So nostalgic. What a nice song. It's so... like, it's so grand and large, but it also just feels so, like, warm and cozy and cuddly at the same time. Does that make any sense? Cenotaph is I believe, like a monument that basically... it says a monument to someone buried elsewhere, especially one commemorating people who died in a war. So I guess that makes sense lyrically, what they were singing about there. You know, being close to me and it being a bit of pretty warm feeling, I guess, because obviously if there's like a monument representing someone that maybe has passed away that you knew, it would make sense that that monument kind of represents a warm feeling. So that makes sense. But that was a beautiful song. That is going in the playlist for sure. Very, very good melodies. Very catchy. Very warm. Very cozy, which is, again, like, I mean, you look at the fucking imagery down here on the bottom right. But like this bloke and then this bloke here. Like, the fucking costumes they wear are terrifying. But their music couldn't be more polar opposite to their actual vibe. Very interesting. Missilia Amori. Missilia. I can guess that Amori is probably some kind of love reference. Missilia, let me see.
So you want out now, don't you, love? Was I not all you were dreaming of?
A little bit toxic, okay.
Love rockets shot right in between your eyes. Love rockets excite me with your demise.
Again, Metallica vibes. I could be wrong with that, but just for me, with my limited knowledge of this era of music or this style, it's Metallica vibes in the riff.
Love has turned to hate. Before my love, it is too late. Love rockets shot right in between your eyes.
Man, I just have the most vivid imagery of like an 80s nightclub, and it's just before phones existed, and it's just such good vibes. That's going playlist as well. Oh, this could be the best song. This is a bit of everything. It has a bit of chunk in the riff, but also great melody. Love rockets. Even the lyrical concept just feels like a song that came out in the 80s, you know? The synth, very pretty and bright. Hey, yo, okay, it's getting kind of weird. That's sexy. Very tasteful solo once again.
hard to find.
That tone is
Show me
sex.
yours, I'll show you mine. Love rockets. Shot right in between your eyes. Love rockets.
This is so good.
Excite me with your demise. My missiles are aimed to launch at your heart. Giving all the war is on. Love rockets.
Oh. Shot right in between your eyes. Oh, it's just well done. This is the best song on the album so far. Shot right in between your eyes. Love rockets. Oh man, I want to learn this on the guitar.
Right in between your eyes.
The actual rhythm guitar of that is very doable for someone like me. Maybe the solo I'd have to have a look at, but like it's at a nice pace. And again, this is something I discourage myself a lot by playing like a lot of modern music where my brain just naturally goes towards the more chaotic riffs and shit like that. But then I realize that that's what I want to play. But then I realize I haven't got the capacity to do so. You know what I mean? But this is so good. Again, it has such an endearing quality to it. It's just so well thought out. Anytime there's a guitar solo, it feels like it should have been there. But I think this is the best example of a song that the guitar solo just really, really feels like it belongs in it. Not that there's been any moments where it doesn't feel like it belongs, but it just feels so well done, you know? Very, very considered songwriting. The melodies in this are just beautiful. Now, it's funny how when a song is so good and so full of character and such an endearing quality to it, that the lyrical content, no matter what it is, it doesn't even matter because these are some creepy fucking lyrics. He's like talking about following someone down. I don't know if it's like a relationship gone toxic and he's like following them down. And you just kind of ignore that. You're like, I'm listening to someone who's a bit fucking weird. You know what I mean? I mean, if you just look at the actual lyrical content of that song, it's a little bit odd, isn't it? Love rockets shot right in between your eyes. Like, I mean, even the idea of a love rocket is like, you know, you don't really send a rocket towards someone that is welcoming a rocket. Generally, rockets are bad because it blow up at the end of it. So a love rocket is like, I'm shooting it at you. You don't really have a choice. It's just going to blow up. So it's almost feel, even in that way, it's a little bit clever. It seems like it's being forced. Launch at your heart. Give in or the war is on. You know, I mean, interesting way of showing your love for someone. You showed me yours, I'll show you mine. A man of faith is hard to find. So it's very based in like this kind of weird relationship with faith and religion, and it's just a bit odd. These are some odd topics I've never really seen covered in this much detail in music before, but because the melody is so good, it's kind of just easy to ignore how weird some of this is. But I'm going to hunt you down wherever you may hide away. I'm going to hunt you down. Like, if you just read those lyrics by themselves, you know, in total isolation, bit fucking odd. But the melodies and everything just are so fucking good. I don't even care. You do you, bro. Just keep making bangers. Okay, I've got one page left to take notes, okay? So 3 songs, 1 page. Let's make them count. Can we finish out the album on a very, very high note?
One rider has a bow, rides a steed white, and wears a crown, conquering. A second rider joins on a steed red, swinging a sword, mongering. Fall on us and hide us from the tyrant to his satanic weird throne. The marks are spreading everywhere.
So good. So weird, but so good. Okay. This is kind of like Exorcism vibes now. But again, it has that like 80s synth vibe to it as well. It just gives it such a fun, poppy, nostalgic vibe. Okay, that's so genius. This whole section. I want to pause it, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, we're playing to the seals is a hilarious line. I just got visions of a truck ramming through a lot of seals. 444. What a unique band. Who does these kind of like rhyme patterns? This there is so genius as a hook, and also something that will go so hard live. Butcher that one. I want to hear it again. Imagine this live now. Guessing they haven't played this live yet, considering the album just came out. And also people wouldn't have had time to actually know this part is coming if they did play it live already. Whoa. Okay, we're still not doing it. Like even the crowd just going there, like pointing out, like the actual visuals of that would be so good live. Oh my god. Their ability to just keep a rhyme pattern going is fantastic. Okay, there's a fade out. That was brilliant. That's so catchy. I think that one's more of a grower, whereas the Missilia Amori the ones that I've liked before this, these words are rough. The ones I've liked before this, I think are maybe more up my alley in terms of first listen. However, this one, because of that goddamn chorus, is going to get stuck in my head again. I get it, man. These guys are just one of those bands that you kind of have to like let seep into your soul a little bit until you fully understand them. There's like something that clicks a little bit. And it's just, there's such an endearing quality about it. It's partly to do with like the 80s style synth. I think in a lot of it is very nostalgic feeling. For someone who didn't grow up in the 80s, obviously parents being big music fans as well, there would have been like this style of music played in the house. Maybe not like as rock leaning and like progressive as this, but definitely like the 80s synth, I think is obviously a very nostalgic sound in general. So that would have been in my household growing up a little bit. So there's something in there that's clicking with me that feels so nostalgic, even though it's not something that I would have like actually grown up with in terms of like being around in the 80s. But it's just fucking good. It really is. It just transports me to this like really good vibes. Like I can just imagine it in, maybe it's because of like movies and stuff as well. It's giving me a lot of like visual representations of this sound. Like movie scenes of like in these old school nightclubs and shit. I just have this vision. It's very hard for me to actually depict it because I can't give an actual physical example of something that I've experienced, but I just have all these like flashes of like different movies and shit, and maybe different songs that I've heard and like stuff from my past or my childhood that maybe like is somewhere deep in my memories somewhere, you know. But 2 songs left. These are also notably 2 of the longest songs in the album. So let's keep going. Obviously, that one was, you know, Marks of the Evil one, the you know, quite on the nose with the lyrical concept. It gave me the kind of like grudge vibes. There, like they're literally pointing out like the marks of Satan himself or the devil or whatever it is they're trying to like really get across. You know, with marks coming through, someone who's been Satanized. It's all tying in. It makes sense. Umbra. I feel like Umbra is one of the names of one of the spirits in the Phasmophobia. Am I correct in saying that? An Umbra spirit? I'm pretty sure it is. Let me confirm that. Umbra. Meaning. Maybe not. Let me see. The fully shaded inner region of a shadow cast by an opaque object, especially the area of the earth or moon experiencing the total phase. Okay. Shadow or darkness. I'm pretty sure Umbra is something in... Let me see if it's in Phasmophobia, because I've seen that before. Phasmophobia. Maybe I'm lying. Shades. Yeah, so there is a shade in Phasmophobia, which is essentially the same thing, because that's what it translates to. It's basically a ghost or spirit of a dead human. No lyrics for this one, so let's lock in and listen. Is that like, is it a cowbell? I don't know if it's a cowbell, but that like percussion is almost like serving like a metronome in this, which is kind of interesting. It's like guiding you on how to just move your head to it, you know? It's gone now. Now I'm just following the snare, but the bell was very like accented, so you could just like really follow along. Because it's like on the like higher end of the mix, it really sticks out and like guides you on. It's like, just follow me, I'll guide you. It's like hypnotizing me as well. It's like against my will to follow it, you know? It's pretty clever. It's offset from the snare though, which is, now I'm paying attention to both and now it's confusing me. It's like you have to pick one. Okay, snare. As they're gonna bring back the... So many cool layers, man. It's like engines starting up. Very cool. The panning. Very psychedelic leaning here, giving me Pink Floyd vibes and some of the background effects and shit. Nice. Trippy organ sounds. Wow. Okay, where do they go from here? That was such an energetic ending to that song, and then they go into the outro. Slow builder again. Okay, very literal. Okay.
It is the end of your sadness and pain. It's the return to your innocence. It is the end of a life breathed in vain.
All right.
Everybody leaves one day. I know it hurts. Everybody goes away. You will too. I will too. Come with me to the rainbow's end. Come with me to the holy land. Come with me, you will too. I will too. Excel.
Some of the production elements. Who produced this, by the way? See if I know them. Probably don't, but produced by Gene Walker and Max Gran. Great job, fellas.
There is still time
Gene Walker,
to make peace
producer.
with your friend and to return to where there's a chance.
Curious to see if he's done any of their albums that I recognize.
There is still time to love once again.
Did he produce Enter Sandman?
Everybody leaves one day.
Nah, surely not, right?
I know it hurts. Everybody goes.
He did a version of it, I think, in 2021, did he?
You will too.
I will too.
Come with me to the rainbow's end. Come with me
Oh, wow.
to the holy land. Come with me.
Yeah, this Max Gran guy, he's got a discography and a half, I'll tell you that much. I'll go through it in a moment. The Weeknd, Rita Ora, Liam Payne, Justin Bieber, Ghosts. Wow.
Washes away all the wrong. Past indiscretions and stalemates. We are all sailing to the gates. Everybody leaves one day. I know it hurts. Everybody goes away. You will
Too. I will. That's the part that keeps hooking me in. Interestingly.
come
Again, the choice of synth work and everything, that almost sounds like Wii Sports, but in a very complimentary way. It's so pretty in parts. Some of the up and down progressions. Up. Down.
This is the end of the avenue.
Back to that opening,
I am afraid
those
of eternity.
picked notes on the acoustic. That's what we open with on this song as well. Okay, that was Ghost with their new album, Skeletá. I am very surprised, but also at the same time, I guess I kind of alluded to this on the Metal Roundup podcast with Metal Burb and Steve, where I did say that I was looking forward to checking out this album when it does eventually drop, because I hadn't been as, I guess, attentive to Ghost as Burb and Steve had been. I checked out the Satanized single quite late and I didn't really love it. So it didn't really inspire me much to go and check out Lachryma, and then obviously they have the new single that's dropping today, but that's irrelevant because it's not out yet. But I just didn't really have any mad inspiration to go and check out Lachryma after hearing it. But because of Steve and Burb, how much they were actually like going on about how good it was and how much they're actually enjoying the Ghost experience, and both of those guys, I trust their opinion very much, like we literally own a podcast together. So I said, you know what? Let me just not check out any more of the singles and wait until the album drops. And obviously the album is here now. And as anticipated, like I did say in the podcast, I always enjoy going into albums when I don't really have too much of an opinion of the singles. Obviously I'd heard one, so I was a little bit negatively leaning going in just with my actual opinions of the band. Which is, I believe, from my own experience, a much better place to be in, like a much better mental mind frame to be in, than going into an album with really high expectations. Because sometimes when you go into albums with really high expectations, you just end up being so disappointed and let down. Whereas this, I was kind of just going in neutral, and that was brilliant. That was, I get it, I do get it. This is the first Ghost album I've ever listened to. Obviously they have 5 prior to this. And I would go as far as saying that although like musically and like the overall tones of the guitars and stuff is a little bit more like old school leaning and not necessarily something that I'm too familiar with, the melodies and the actual compositions of some of these songs are so fucking genius that, again, I always say this even with the more modern stuff, is that it doesn't really matter if something's like maybe more generic leaning or we've heard it a million times before. If there's a really good melody or there's a really good riff in there somewhere, all of the like, you know, I guess ideas or normal rules that I would generally go by when it comes to my music tastes go out the window. Like genres, time frames, all of that is completely irrelevant when something is written really, really, really well, sounds really, really unique, has a really cool riff, which there was some fun riffs in this, but I think the vocals in this are just the absolute standout. And the production, to be honest. Some of the production, some of the synth work choices, so masterfully put in there. And I'm looking at the actual like track list here. I am so shocked to be coming out of this album with 50% of the album added to my playlist. The standouts for me, off of the top of my head, obviously we've just only listened to it, but I think Missilia Amori was probably the most, that seems like off first listen, that will be the one I go back to most. But that like 3/4 mark of the album, as you can see there, with Cenotaph, Missilia Amori, and Marks of the Evil One, really, really good. Really, really fucking enjoyable. Peacefield, not bad. I thought that was a really fun, interesting way to start the album. Obviously, it was a little bit of a kind of getting into the sound, so maybe it would have been wishful thinking to like instantly fall in love with that song. Lachryma was, I think, you know, that kind of first taste of what was to come in the album. That was like a good introduction to, okay, this is actually something that I might actually really be able to get into. And then Satanized, hearing it again, definitely makes a little bit more sense. And, you know, it's fun to see the band not really taking themselves too seriously. You know, there's a lot of like serious bands, like Sleep Token are obviously a very serious band that like do the whole, you know, masked men thing. And the, you know, the lore is tied deeply into their music, whereas Ghost are obviously doing that as well. But it does seem like they're taking quite serious topics, like, I mean, religion and like faith and shit like that. And making it visually quite appealing and like quite funny. Like some of the actual shots, I never noticed that in the first time I watched it, but like him doing the little gesture to, you know, the character in the video, which was pretty funny. Which kind of, that was the first point that I actually realized the theme of the album, and then I was able to try and like follow that throughout, which made sense with some of the songs that followed. So all in all, if I was to give this album a rating, it's really tough for me because obviously ratings are generally quite relative to what you've been listening to over the past couple of years. So it's like, okay, well, this album was fantastic and it was a masterpiece, and I gave that album like a 9 out of 10. But because I don't listen to many albums or any albums, to be honest, and I haven't listened to any albums like this in a long time, if at all, to be honest, it's very hard to like have context as to where this stands comparative to like, you know, some of the more modern stuff that I'm listening to. I want to lean with, I would say this is like a strong, it's in the 8s. It's in the 8s out of 10. The outro to the album didn't hook me as much as the 3 songs prior. It would have been a fucking high A if those last 2 songs were as catchy and as, I guess, appealing to me as the 3 songs prior to that, because then you would have been looking at like 7 out of 10 songs. But I think with everything we've heard, I think that is a strong like 8.3 out of 10 album. I thoroughly enjoyed that a lot more than I anticipated. And maybe I'll go back and check out some more Ghost albums. So guys, let me know in the comments what album by Ghost would make the most sense based on, like, if you've watched this whole video. Obviously, if you're just watching the review portion and you don't actually know which parts of the album really resonated with me, maybe give me the album that makes the most sense based on like how I reacted to some of the moments in these songs. Which album would make the most sense to go back and check out by the band Ghost? Otherwise, lads, I want to thank you all for watching this far. If you did watch this far, leave a like in the video. Make sure you're subbed to the channel if you aren't already. And that's all from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.